Hi there. Welcome back to Rosa Reads Me and I. It's currently March 25th, 2025. And today we're going to be reading Chapter 4, The Birds and the Sensitivity. This is a work in progress title. Don't mind it. Thea and Aiden are still sleeping. I'm going to go for my morning run. Mia. I can already imagine the terse Aiden journal later. Fine. P.S. Calling it right now, but out of the 4 suspected potential lost, Thea definitely swapped with the Princess of Drevik. This is an educated guess in name only. I'm personally 100% convinced. Allow me to present my decisive evidence. Exhibit A. Thea's vibe. She has an imposing, queenly essence, as demonstrated by her regal food preparation tactics. Exhibit B. Thea's attire. Her merchant cloak and cap would serve as an excellent disguise for an undercover princess, commonly seen in fairy tales and stories. And Exhibit C, the most decisive, Thea's voice, her booming, court-addressing vocalization, commanding respect and attention, overpowering her opposition. That's 3 pieces of irrefutable evidence. Thea was/is a princess, calling it early. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going for my morning run. Mia.
I've got nothing to add. I arrived at the same conclusion, to be honest. Aiden.
Right? Mia. P.S. I wrote more so you wouldn't complain at me, and you go and write 1 sentence. Wow.
Nothing wrong with brevity if the point's conveyed. Aiden. P.S. This isn't a letter. You don't have to add a postscript. Just write another entry.
Fine. Mia. P.S. But actually, I like P.S., so I'm keeping it.
We can just talk instead of handing the journal back and forth.
He groans, taking the journal from me. He writes the next entry anyway and passes it back. He wrote a postscript again. Mia.
That morning, shortly following Mia's first entry.
4 minutes, 40 seconds. That's how long it took to complete my first lap. There was a nifty animal trail for me to follow, and it carried me all the way to the warp back without too many bends or weaves. I sidestepped the tent, continuing back along the trail I just took. After another 2 laps, I ended with a clean 18-minute morning run. A bit longer than usual for 3 warp laps, but I'm still sore from all the walking. I should really ask I to heal the popped blister on my right heel, too. But hey, not bad for the first run in 2 weeks. I nearly toppled the tent in the 3rd warp back, though. Oops. Thankfully, I crashed into the right side, Aiden's side, so it probably didn't wake Thea. Sorry. I kneel and whisper the apology to my brother, watching the wall bounce forward as he punches it. Aiden's just cranky in the mornings. I settle into my post-run stretches, enjoying the last couple minutes of peace before the day's events. Once we start walking today, I imagine we'll settle into more casual banter. We've got breakfast first, though, and if dinner was anything to go by, I'm not exactly looking forward to questions round 2. Miss Neal would probably hit me with one of her infamous groaners like, "Hesitating won't catch the fish," or something equally cliché and patronizing. As if I'm not going to hear her touting the whole "patience is a virtue" crap a whopping 5 minutes later. "When it's convenient to lecture me, right? Contradictions be damned, this girl needs corrective guidance." Whatever. I'm still on an important mission, and it isn't my call to decide when information needs doling out. We gotta make sure Thea's comfortable, so whatever she says goes. And if that means fielding 1,000 difficult questions about who and what we are, my lips are loose. Stretching helps keep my mind busy for the time being. Aiden'll definitely be complaining again about sore joints, and I keep telling him to stretch after walking. But nah, he'd rather shove his nose in his journal or the demon book or in whatever else he's reading and let his muscles stiffen. Can't believe I'm sorta related to this slacker, you know? Not to sick the taskmasters on him or anything, but after hearing the same advice from like 8 different elders, you'd think it would stick. Exercise your joints and stretch them. That's how the outsiders handle their travel fatigue. Just you wait. Thea's gonna come barreling from that tent in full sprint and rope me into a second run. Then I'll feel some healthy encouragement to work those legs. Good old peer pressure. It's only icky when it's used by aging farts with unreasonable expectations, you know? I kid. Until Thea pops out, though, I'm keeping my body warm. It's a bit nippy this morning, being early spring and all. The run definitely helped heat me up, and it's not too windy down here, so a long sleeve and a riding breeches is doing the job okay. It rained a little last night, though, and it might pick back up later today, so I'll pull out a jacket eventually. The sky is overcast with a light fog as weighted leaves slip cold dewdrops into the forest floor. Give I some credit, he picked a great morning to sleep in. Most of the critters share his slug-a-bed ideals, tucked cozy and safe in their covered nests. But the forest isn't completely quiet. There's a boasting thrush nearby, an unseasonable entrant. His friends tend to take over mid to late spring, but he's here a bit early. "Ee-wee!" he cries out to the forest, puffing on his flute in practice for the lady thrushes. He deserves some assistance. "Ee-wee!" I answer, knowing my attempt cannot match his grace, least of all while I'm doing jumping jacks. A chorus of wood thrushes will soon serve the spring forest natural wind section, alongside the thrashers. Mornings will become a heated competition for who can sing the loudest. Not to be outdone, the chickadees carry their own conversations of "Hey, sweetie," back and forth to each other. "Hey, sweetie," I reply mid-plank. It comes out a little strained, but I blame the planking. "Hey, sweetie," they call back, which makes me smile. Chickadees are definitely like grandmas. Sweet old ladies who cherish everyone and everything, sharing their kind, sing-songy voice, caroling to all the late sleepers. "Hey, sweetie, it's okay to get up. It's safe outside and there's a whole world to explore." Aiden should pick up some bird speak if he's so keen on wasting his morning snoozing. Maybe they can help him kick his slothful lifestyle. Nearby, a woodpecker hammers into his spruce perch, serving as an ineffectual alarm for the two sleepyheads. Aiden doesn't tend to take much effort getting up if you force him, but he's a big fan of 30 more minutes, times 3. Former Princess Thea is, were I to guess, a heavy sleeper. When they're not being awoken by prince kisses, gender flexible, or other assorted magic stimulants, they seem to enjoy their beauty rest, which, hey, if that delays my second run, so be it. Ensuring her comfort is imperative to our mission. "Thwack-a-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka!" drums the free-spirited woodpecker, forcing his feathered friends to play to his percussive rhythm. I'd be pissed trying to keep up with that wild show-off. No thanks. He's not interested in keeping order, not when there's girls to impress. But I imagine those gals are off drilling their own holes, foraging for tasty bugs, not to be impressed by the first over-eager beak bother they hear. Still, he deserves some respect for his brash, incessant hammering. I won't offer a poor facsimile of my own, least of all while doing push-ups. But he's welcome to continue showboating. "See!" cries a familiar voice. The preliminary robin, the earliest of early birds, breaks in mid-song to give a quick warning. I push up one final time, tilting my head towards the cloud-gray sky. Sure enough, there's a sharp-eyed cooper making the rounds. Her wings are spread wide, soaring in a curvy circle, on the hunt for unsuspecting prey. She threatens the orchestra, though not maliciously. Everyone needs to eat, after all. "See!" I alert in kind. My warning tampers with nature, but I don't care. It's just not right to interrupt the morning peace so flagrantly, and besides, go pick on a fish or something. Go grab that boastful woodpecker, you silly hawk. Leave the robins to serenade my squats. See what? My skin nearly evacuates my body because that wasn't a bird cry. Thea's stealth capabilities, the ones I was unaware she possessed, were employed expertly, and she's now staring down at me mid-squat. And that's saying something because I'm actually pretty tall compared to her. My butt jerks up as I fumble to attention, saluting to our new charge, feeling my muscles cringe and tense for no discernible reason. Maybe I pulled something during stretches? "Hi, morning, Thea. Good morning, Thea. What's up?" Apparently I didn't stretch my voice yet because it sure sounds sore. Between anxious coughing and nervous laughter, I sound borderline deranged. Thea either doesn't notice or she's pretending not to, and she's staring hard into my eyes again. I've only caught sidelong glances at her irises, but I've gleaned that they're large circular balls of balmy brown hazelnut splendor, endless and impossible to broach, yet constantly attempting to engulf the person she's addressing. But she's not threatening, not at all. I'm used to being glared down by freakishly tall, muscle-bound Elephantis veterans turned impossible-to-please tutors. Thea's nothing like them. I can say it, and think it, but I can't help flinching in her presence. She got really intimidating during and after last night's dinner. A completely different vibe than the one she gave post-demon sighting. Why was that Thea so much easier to handle than this one? Maybe it's because she had her eyes closed for most of the experience. Her shoulders are curling, but I can't really tell if she's completed the folded arm stance yet. Nothing, I suppose? Hey, were you doing some kind of magic ritual or something? I kept hearing you shout random crap from the tent. Are those magic words? She barely lets a breath out between each question. Every new inquiry drives another stake through my throbbing chest. Magic? What magic, huh? I was just doing my stretches. I didn't cast anything. Drums the free-spirited woodpecker. Not the time, jerk! Shoot, where was I? Wishing against hope for a wild beast to come charging into our camp so I can go pacify it and look cool doing so feels incredibly childish and likely, so I kinda need to address the menacing merchant girl. With a crane of my neck, I'm now able to see her angry shoulder. Definitely folding her arms. She abruptly tilts her head closer and we lock eyes for the briefest of wonderful moments. And her angel blonde hair shakes a little, and those adorable little horns poke out, and my heart nearly skips 5 beats, and then I'm suddenly locking eyes with a conifer tree a couple dozen yards away to her left, and... Hey, wait, how do I respond? Magic? Hello? You forgot to say something, Mia! Bird calls? What am I doing? What was I responding to? That was the previous question, right? What? You can summon birds? That'd be a useful distraction. Or as an attack? Can you summon birds of prey? Birds that can carry you from place to place? One question at a time, please! God, I wish I could do any of those spells, though. No? I asked 4 questions there. No to what? No to all of them? Oh, well, that's lame. Internal banshee screaming doesn't appear to have any effect on Thea's disappointment, which I'm honestly glad for. But now she's in front of me again, pulling at my sleeve. My arm's all jittery and limp at the same time, somehow. Isn't that what frostbite's supposed to feel like? Oh God, did I contract frostbite? Drums the free-spirited asshole. Not helping! So what were you doing, huh? You woke me up. Thea's inquiries have transitioned into an active interrogation, what I'm utterly unprepared for. Bird calls, saying hi to the birds. I mutter, forcing a smile. She's on her tiptoes now, as eye level with me as a girl her height can manage. But then I'm staring off into the sky looking for that soaring hawk. Maybe she can swoop down and carry me off instead. Come on, girl, work those talon muscles! Lisa carried me in her talons when I was 5. If a harpy can do it, don't count yourself out! Never mind the fact Lisa's 5 times your height with an even more impressive wingspan. That was also you banging into the tent earlier, wasn't it? Oh God, she did hear that! I should drop to my knees and prostrate myself. She is, probably, a princess after all. But I imagine that just invoked further ire, right? I'm so sorry, Thea. That was an accident. Sorry. I barely stopped myself from bowing my head, realizing the trajectory of my noggin would surely clonk Thea. Oh, gods above, I'm just messing up her entire morning, aren't I? All that noise-making, I didn't even consider her feelings or what she's going through right now with the demon scare, or all those emotions tied to being lost, or what she's learned about the swap memories, or even how she slept. I'm the most insensitive twat in the world. Girl. Not to mention, I can't even look at her in the eyes. That must be the absolute rudest thing she's ever had to deal with. Heck, she made a point of it yesterday and everything. I'm half of her assigned help in seeking out her lost twin, but I can't even manage to make eye contact like a normal human being. Hello? Where's the congenial service, Mia? Girl. Woohoo. Who am I kidding? I'm not ready for this kind of responsibility. I have to take this girl all the way across the world until we find the other girl she swapped with? Well, to be fair, it's princess traffic. I'm already in this stupid country, so the hard part's already done. But still! Keeping her healthy and safe from bandits and well-fed and fielding her questions and making sure the horror deal is actually kind of fun and not just awkward for everyone. Girl! Yes, I'm a girl, hi. He's addressing me. How long was she trying to get my attention? Shoot, she's looking the other way now. Is she mad at me? Are you okay? Do you need me to go get your brother or something? Thea's breathing heavily through her nose, clearly irritated. She makes a good point, though. I should definitely go grab Aiden and make him field her questions for now until I've buried my entire face in a pillow. Or a bag. Or really just anything with the capability of drowning out my dumb voice. Drums the free-spirited. Will someone please tell that stupid bird to shut up already? Yeah, he should already be up. Sorry. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Whatever heat I built up from the run earlier dissipates. I'm chilled to the bone and altogether envious of I getting to sleep in. Tucked up all warm in his blanket, not out here freezing with some jerkwad woodpecker show up in a justifiably angry Thea, wondering what sort of idiot she's dealing with. A cold hand rubs my arm. I instinctively flinch, but manage to stop myself from batting it away. Braving a look, I already know it's Thea's hand, but she's not gripping or tugging. Just brushing. Drums the woodpecker. Girl, what are you apologizing for, huh? Hey, you good? Thea's waving her other hand up towards my eyes, trying to get my attention. Sighing, I use every uncomfortable motion I can manage to face her, albeit with my eyes beaming down at her shoes. Boots, technically. She has nice boots. They look comfy for travel. Cool socks, too. But then she's closer, looking up, meeting my eyes. Her soft, mousy brown eyes, conveying an emotion I can't discern. And my brain shuts down. It's just fuzz and noise, and expected panic that's on the cusp of bubbling over. Thwack-a-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka! Mia. Sorry, I'll go get Aiden. Just wait here a sec. Don't worry about it. I want to talk to you. She points at my chin, and suddenly I'm sliding down the tree, back against it. She's following me to the ground, and we're eye level, making eye contact. And my head's in Mr. Yu's grip. Oh, I'm sorry. My mumbled apology seems to agitate him even more, and I regret speaking at all. And my neck hurts, and I want to turn, but he's keeping me in place. And I want to close my eyes, but he's using magic to keep them open. I'm crying, and he's looking right through me, telling me I'm not good enough to be anything, and I never should have become Aiden's link, and I should just... I see over Thea's head, towards the clouds as the hawk dips. It doesn't make a sound, aiming for a target I can't discern. But then a smaller, brave little bird flits up, tussling with the girl in midair. It looks like the robin from before. The woodpecker stops, and the chorus takes a short siesta, ducking and flying off for cover. Okay, yeah, this is definitely making you uncomfortable. My bad, Mia. I just had to make doubly sure. Thea's head twists away and she rolls her body beside me. She sits back against the trunk, pulling her legs up. Are you okay, girl? With her eyes elsewhere, my brain resets a little. Me? I'm fine. I'm not crying like I was back then, after all. Even if my eyes sting a little, I didn't start crying. So that's good. That means I'm fine. That scumbag is nowhere near me or Aiden, so it's fine. I'm fine. And I'm sitting next to Thea, and she's not breathing through her nose or raising her voice. She's not throwing spoons or demanding answers like yesterday. In fact, her next question is gentle and solitary. Would you prefer I not make eye contact from now on? It's a tingle along my back first. Just a spark of feeling. Then I process what Thea said, and it's like a warm campfire roared to life at my left. My cheeks are white hot from the blazing fire, but it's a lovely sensation. From my toes to my neck, constant pulses of heat along my exposed skin, warm air flowing through the sleeves of my shirt. But I don't have to look. I don't have to risk the smoke filling my eyes or my nose. I can just feel the warmth, and it's okay. She's telling me it's okay. I would prefer that, yeah. My voice is clearer, firmer. Less like a freezing penguin in a blizzard and more like a huddled sociable weaver in one of their toasty super nests. Good morning, by the way. Did I say that already? You did. 3 times now, I think. Thea giggles at that, and it's another pulse of heat through my body. Didn't get enough sleep? Nah, I think I slept okay. Sorry, just a bit of a sluggish start this morning. A sheepish explanation and another apology. That would have been worth 3 ruler smacks in Mr. Yu's class, and a lecture in everyone else's. But Thea doesn't even raise a complaint. No, I get that. Were you running? Yeah, just a little bit ago. You saw me stretching, right? And you heard me calling out to the robin. Well, the robin's friends. I was mimicking her hawk cry. Her what? Thea turns at that, but she's quick to look away. We didn't lock eyes, but I caught sight of her in my peripheral vision. I think it was unintentional. This is probably a little weird for her, though I hope it's not annoying. Merchants probably look their customers in the eyes all day, so I guess I'm just a weirdo. She was warning the other robins that there's a Cooper hawk in the air. See? Up there? I point at the indisposable ruler of the skies, undeterred from her sky battle. Delay aside. Robins have a different cry that they use when they see a hawk. Huh. I didn't know that. That's neat, Thea says, placing emphasis on the word neat. Because it is neat, right? Thea's interested in bird facts and she didn't know about the robins having a hawk cry. I clench both fists, happy to flex my expertise. They actually have about a dozen or 2 dozen calls for all sorts of stuff. They do a bunch of different ones for singing, mostly to attract mates, and the louder the better. It's actually funny because they'll apparently sing louder if it's already noisy where they're at. So like in towns and cities, they need to shout over all the noise. It's so funny. They're little show-offs. And they have really good range control, so it doesn't even hurt them to sing louder. Oh, but there's this other call they do for close communication, and warnings like the hawk call I just mentioned. My favorite is clucking when they do it. It sounds like a sharp cheep, which they do when they're at their nest and you walk by. It's a warning call for nest attackers like crows, but they're pretty docile, not like the brown thrashers. They go crazy if you get anywhere close to their nest. I could show you a robin nest though sometime. I'm really good at spotting them. They're all over the place if you know where to look. Interested? When I finish, I realize my legs have started rocking mid-explanation again. Come on, Mia, don't be weird. I settle my breathing and turn as much as I dare towards Thea, awaiting her enthused reply. Mumbles Thea, with an inflection that might be bordering on enthused. Specifically the I think she's being low-key about her excitement, but I definitely felt the energy there. No, it's fine. You don't have to answer now. Maybe while we're walking? Sure. That sounds nice, Mia. And it's like that bonfire. My chest got a whole basket of pine cones dumped on top of it. Yes! What a great way to connect with her. Thank you, little Robin. When she's not touching up on her demon knowledge, I can go pull out my avian encyclopedia and run through the entire spring lineup with her. We'll go bird hunting in the morning and listen for the nightingales and the barred owls before bed. If we're really enthusiastic about it, we can boil sugar water in a can for the hummingbirds. She can even show me where to buy new books for the other 4 countries. Telegonian birds, they don't even migrate in the colder months. Insignium birds, they're like the same as Dravekian birds, pretty much. Jeez, I was overthinking this whole relatability stuff, wasn't I? Of course she'd be into birds. Awesome. Hey, before all that, though, I should get started on breakfast, huh? Or did you want to go for a run first? I just did one, but I'm cool with a second. I leaped to my feet, hopping in place to demonstrate my limber muscles, eager and ready for a chance to show off my speed. He's a bit more delicate with standing, which makes sense. Princess, you know. I should offer her a hand next time. Be quicker on the accommodation uptake, Mia. That sounds horrid, if you'll forgive me for saying so. I'm not much of a runner. Thea grumbles to herself and fluffs her hair. Breakfast sounds good, though. Need any help with that? Oh, not much of a runner, she says. That's fine. Neither's Aiden, and I can tolerate him, for the most part, with no issue. Minimal issues that he causes 99% of the time. I was taught that some outsiders forgo recreational exercise, and it's not always about laziness. If anything, Thea's a merchant. Rather than waste that time running, she could be setting up shop for the day, making sales at the crack of dawn. The early bird gets the worm, right? Another Miss Nihilism. Well, at least it's one I actually like. I sign a thumbs up at my friendly charge, ensuring her it's no issue at all. No need to ask for forgiveness, and no need to strain yourself. Last night's dinner was terrific, so now it's my turn to return the favor. I foraged plenty of mushrooms and nettles last night, so I can just get us started with a good salsa, maybe with some leftover chicken jerky and stew. But if you're in the mood for eggs or rabbit or deer or boar or bear meat, though, I can go looking for some. Thea doesn't answer for a second, probably contesting with some choice paralysis. It's admittedly a great spread of options, courtesy of my hunting prowess, and maybe a little assistance from hide-and-seeking magic. Shh. So, you said bear, right? I didn't just mishear that? Ooh, you're in the mood for some black bear venison? Great choice! It'll take some time to skin and prep it, but you're welcome to sell whatever we don't eat. I think I remember hearing their pelts go for a lot of divers, but that's more your expertise, so I won't assume. Right. Leftover sounds great. Huh? Before I can ask for clarification, Thea walks back towards the tent, thrusting the flap open. I didn't wake up. Your "it's complicated" sister offered to go manhandle a bear for breakfast. You didn't let her, right? Aiden's groggy voice precedes him flinging himself headfirst out of the tent, darting his head around to find me. Me and Louise, we have nettles and mushrooms and stew left over from dinner last night. Don't go getting mauled just because you have a crush. I'm on him in seconds flat. Someone's still in dreamland, huh? Maybe it's time you went back for a couple more days, huh? He tries to struggle out of his blanket, but it's ultimately ineffectual floundering. All right, guess I'm making breakfast too. Thea says. No, wait, I got it. Hang on just a sec.
Mia, I am not waiting for you to find a freaking bear,
grumbles my disillusioned, it's complicated, brother. Well, seeking magic's pretty useful, huh?
I'm not pigging a bear.
By the time breakfast utensils are being washed, the sun's managed to peek out between several lulls in the cloud cover. The fog's also rolled off, but I imagine we'll be kicking against wet grass all day. I wonder if we could afford horses. I tried asking the masters about staging costs, but they just ignored me. And when I posited the concept of taming wild ones to my brother, he just shook his head. As if what I was suggesting was so unreasonable. Whatever, I might actually be able to walk without a jacket today, so no sense moping. Non-mountain weather really is something. Ground weather? Plains weather? Whatever, I'm riding a compliment high right now. Both Aiden and Thea gave fond reviews of the salsa I prepared. Wild nettles might be mild, but toss in some garlic, wild onions, chives, salt, pepper, oil, and mash it all up. Delicious. Now, I did have to borrow some of Thea's chives. Those little green fellas usually need some more time to get going, but everything else was freshly picked. And when coupled with some chicken jerky and Thea's delectable reheated stew, let's just say there weren't any leftovers for lunch. The conversation during breakfast was kept mostly brief and almost entirely around the food prep. Thea did end up helping me by reheating her stew, and Aiden helped portion and tend the fire. But inevitably, with most of the pots and pans cleaned, Thea begins the day's discussion topic. Okay, so, Mia, you said earlier that we could look for bird nests as we walked. I nearly dropped the plate I'm drying. Goodness, she's really invested. Awesome! Of course! I'd be happy to point out any nests I see, or we can have Aiden seek them out. I'm personally not a fan of that. I think that ruins the whole fun of spotting nests, but if you're serious about birding, we can just hit up at the peak hours with binoc. Thea cuts me off with both arms extended. Whoa, wait, sorry, that's all fine and good. That wasn't what I meant. Thea clears her throat, then restarts. The whole walking together bit, I'm fine with it. I get it. Definitely happy to walk out of this weird section of Vineyard Woods with you two and get back west to Fainor. All good. Hell, I'd hire 2 mages to escort me back to town any day. Price is reasonable. Whatever's reasonable for 2 mages. I digress. But... And there's a long pause before she continues from her but. I'm starting to get the impression that you two wanna, I don't know, take me cross-country? Like, actually go out and find this person I swapped with, I think?
Yes.
Aiden confirms, drying his hands with the dish towel.
We can't undo the swap without you both being present and accounted for. Since we found you first, it's our goal to bring you safely to your lost twin.
Right. Thea sighs, cupping her chin in her hand. Oh, and don't worry, it's completely complimentary, I add, hoping to dissuade any fears of pricing. We're not charging you a diver. On the contrary, feel free to have us assist with anything you need help with, even if it's laborious. Can't promise I'd no help, but I'm flexible.
Rude.
Not to mention, Thea starts, rolling her rag over in the wash bin. You both know I'm suspending a lot of my disbelief here, right? Demons and magic are one thing. I've seen both. That nonsense is what it unfortunately is. But come on now. You're asking me to travel where exactly? Drevik Castle, I answer, sitting cross-legged on my stump. We just gotta meet with the current princess and get you two swapped. Should only take us a couple days. I emphasize the ease of this task by demonstrably swiping my hands together, brushing invisible easy dust aside.
Mia, you're skipping steps.
Aiden drones, crouching into sitting on the dirt.
We need to discuss potential targets we've scouted beforehand, Thea. We have a couple likely candidates.
Oh, but you're the princess, don't worry. Aiden throws a rag at my head.
However likely, let's not assume anything. Yes, Drevik Castle is apparently quite close, so it's not a bad first place to check. And the princess should be easy to approach, what with her being apparently castle-bound.
Oh good, he was confused about that too. I guess princesses only go out on adventuring during the warmer months?
We'll ask for an audience with her highness and go from there. But beyond that, we should discuss the other targets.
This is a long and overly dramatic death flash, isn't it? Thea cuts in with that morbid line and shuts her face into her knees. groans loudly, holding a long, consistent note before snapping her head back up, her voice rising in kind. I want to tell her that's similar to the sound the whipbird makes, but think better of it. What are you two talking about? Why? Why a princess?
That is something we can't answer, I'm afraid. Neither my sister or I studied intel, so we don't actually know how lost twins are scouted. We're just given whatever information is available. Typically, this means the determined target's approximate location based on where and when they were last seen. A physical description, their name, and their profession. With that information, we're tasked to seek them out by any means necessary.
At this, Aiden pulls out the lost log from his jacket pocket.
You're welcome to look through it if you like.
Thea does so, quietly flipping through the list. A princess. You think I swapped with Heather, Princess of Drevik? Thea's incredulity is at an all-time high as she slams her finger into the list, shifting her eyes between Aiden and me. Notably, she overcorrects for me, looking off to the side.
We can't deny the possibility.
What does that mean? Thea slaps the paper as if she's just discovered 5 cockroaches sitting on it. What are these targets? A princess. Uh-huh. Sure. Who is this? Cydnus, the weather magus. What? What do you mean? Weather? Is she a cloud?
Presumably she has the ability to control the weather,
Aiden suggests.
That's high-level magic. I'm hoping we can get the chance to meet her regardless of whether or not she's actually your swap twin.
Ooh, oh, wait. She's an insignia, yeah? We get to go on that lake train. My excitement is obviously justified because it's one of those super lakes Aiden's always gushed about, and it has one of those train things riding over it. That's a 2-for-1 deal on life experiences, baby. Heck, even Aiden's mood seems to perk up at my suggestion. He can play the whole, I'm a serious Elephantis member thing. But I saw his research paper on the Lavender Sea. Palpable excitement, that. Thea frazzles her hair, though, ignoring our banter. She makes that impressive whipbird noise again and continues with her rant. Sure. Oh, and it gets better. Raska, Duskforge of Sargonon! What kind of job is Duskforge? Where the hell is Sargonon? I think it means she does her job when it's dark out. I offer the answer, but I'm not 100% sure. Sounds kind of like a jackass doing her metal work when everyone's trying to sleep.
Also, Sargonon is near Mount Selena.
Aiden interjects, now suddenly holding our comically large map of Gin Sable.
You know, the active volcano in Telegonia.
Is that the really big one?
It's the biggest volcano in Gin Sable, yes.
Awesome. I actually think the idea of a volcano sounds super lame because, what kind of stupid bird would want to live up on one of those? I'm just keeping the enthusiasm ball rolling for Thea's sake in case she's tempering her volcanic excitement. Which is kind of accurate. Thea's on her hands and knees, smoldering over the last name. The elusive Saren. That's it. That's all it says for number 4.
We're really hoping it's not Saren.
Why should any of them? Speaking of volcanic eruptions, Thea hammers her fist into the ground like a gorilla playing the bongos. Why can't I have swapped with anyone normal? Why not Stephanie, the shoe polisher? Or how about Casey, the stagecoach driver from 2 towns over with a small family of 3 and a mortgage? Why do they have to live in a volcano halfway across the world?
So, technically, Rascal only lives near a volcano?
Aiden doesn't finish his sentence. We both let Thea work out her frustrations. We needed a new den anyway. Okay. That's chapter 4. Oh no, that voice is gonna have to change a lot. An entire chapter of me is perhaps a little too much. Thank you very much for being here. I will see you next time for chapter 5. Have a good one.